Hello, everyone. Brett Matt Sura here, and you guys are here watching Real Estate Objection Handling, how to use conversational selling to rebuttal common real estate objections. So today's training, we're going to talk about the common real estate objection. Why should we choose you? In fact, let's go ahead and show that. Why should we choose you? Now, if this is one of your first times to the training, or if you're catching this on the replay, I do this every single morning. I go live. So if you want to get these live, you can catch it in the Facebook group, or if you're catching this on YouTube, go ahead and press the subscribe button if you find this valuable, and the alert button. Not only does that notify you of any new training that I do, but it also helps out with the algorithm to push this out to other like-minded people who might benefit from this. So going into the training, why should we choose you? Common objection. Let's go ahead and share this onto the screen like this. Why should we choose you? Common objection. So I coach and I train on conversational selling. Conversational selling is a way to, in the actual statement is conversational. Anything that you do that's not conversational, meaning that you're aligning with the normal way that people communicate, it's going to set off some red flags in the person's mind. Subconsciously, it might be even so blatant that it will set off alarms consciously. So the key here is to make sure that as you are rebuttaling or handling objections, that you're doing so in a natural way, in a way that people normally converse. And so I've developed a process called the ultimate rebuttal formula, and this is what it is. So number one, let me back up a little bit. It's not about the words that you say. The words are necessary, but it's how you say them, what your tonality is, what your tempo is. You know, a lot of that's very important. Don't get me wrong. The words are important, but not as important as what you say them, and not as important on how you put them all together. And the way that I talk about this is we use what I call the universal rebuttal formula. And it's a 4-step process. Number one is you acknowledge what somebody just said. It's active listening. Number two, you approve what they say. You don't want to make them wrong. Number three, you embed what's called a softener, which is going to lessen the blow when you go into asking a question. If you don't embed a softener, you just go directly into a question, depending on what your level of rapport is with the person that you're speaking to, you may actually do more harm than good. You may actually turn them off a little bit. You may come off salesy. So by embedding these various different softeners, that lessens the blow. It's kind of like if someone comes up to you and say, God, you know what? I got some really bad news. And it's preparing yourself for it. Now, if they didn't say something like, hey, I got some really bad news, and they didn't say that, and they just came right at you with some really bad news, it's like jumping into a pool of ice water, right? It shocks you. So it allows you that time to just really be prepared for the next thing that says. So let's talk about the objection. Why should we choose you? Now, this could be a good time to talk to you guys about nobody ever gets better without practice. So I love the fact that you guys are here during this training. I love the fact if you come back and you listen to this and you guys are getting a lot from this, but unless you actually practice this, then you're not going to get better, because nobody gets better at anything without practice. And you're never going to perform at a level higher than the level in which you practice. So I would, when I do these daily objection handlings, they're an objection of the day that are in the real estate role-playing group. And this is a group where it's a North American group. We have members across all time zones. It's only for real estate agents. And if you're not a member and you need a role-playing partner, then just go here to learn more about how you can be part of the group. And then you can get on the schedule. And then after we do this training, you can practice this training with your partner. So going back to this, why should we use you? Now, there's a variety of different ways that this can come. You could be on the phone. You could just be a cold outreach, maybe talking to an expired or for sale by owner. This could be coming up on a conversation with very soon into the sales cycle. And that's really what we're going to kind of frame it as, because really what we want to do is we want to get that face-to-face appointment. This should not really be coming up at the kitchen table. And if it does come up at the kitchen table, the process that you used up until this point should be showcasing your experience, showcasing your market knowledge. It should be answering a lot of these various different questions and or we call those objections. A good presentation, a good listing process consists of answering the questions that are normal in this process. You don't want to go cold, right? You don't want to go to setting an appointment, having nothing, and then just, as I put it, vomiting information onto a consumer or a potential seller and expect them to make a decision right off the bat. Okay, this is all about nurturing. This is all about building rapport. This is all about allowing the homeowner to discover and get to know you and your process before then. But we're going to go off on this. The goal is to get an appointment. So why should we choose you? Okay, so again, going back to the ultimate rebuttal formula, we have here, okay, you're going to acknowledge. Now, a very common, if you've listened to my training before, is you simply repeat what they had just said in the form of a question. Why should you choose me? And then typically what they'll do is they'll provide you a little bit more information than just what this is. See, this isn't an objection. Okay, this is just, I mean, it's a question, but it's an honest question. Look, guys, we have a low amount of inventory, and regardless if there was a low amount of inventory, there's no lack of competition in the real estate space. There seems to me that almost every other person has a real estate license. Somebody knows somebody with a real estate license. So when homeowners are actively looking to hire a real estate agent, it is not uncommon for them to want to know why they should choose you over somebody else. Because a homeowner will never award a listing. No one will ever interview somebody and hire the second or third most qualified candidate. And this is the same access. So why should you choose me should be one of those things that you should really think about your value proposition, your experience, your market knowledge, and how you're going to package yourself that separates you from the competition. So why should you choose me? You're going to acknowledge, why should you choose me? Well, yeah, Brett, we're looking to sell our home. We're looking to interview other agents. They may come up and say that they have a friend in the business or whatnot, but we're just curious, what is it about you that makes you think that you would be the best fit for us to work with? And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into and approve. That's a great question. In fact, what I find is that most homeowners want to make sure that they hire the right agent for the job of selling their home. Now, if you watch a lot of my different trainings on these different objection handlings, I go to a lot of the same statements. They're almost universal. And it's not necessarily the words that you say. There is no really magical thing that you're going to say that's going to cause somebody that wants to hire you to sell their home. But you'll find that there's a lot of commonalities that I go to that you need to come up and find the right fit for you to go down to. And, one of those things is level shifting, going from why should we choose you? And I turn this in. Look, I get it. Most homeowners, I group them into a group of people. So that's kind of making them right. And most homeowners, they want to make sure that they're hiring the right agent for the job of selling their home. And then you're going to go into the softener. Now, if you don't mind me asking, you're going to roll right into it, right? So if you're looking at this on a piece of paper, it's going to be like a comma, ... Those ... dots that you see over here, they're strategic pauses. So if we go back over to here, it's going to roll right into it. So in fact, most homeowners want to make sure that they hire the right agent for the job of selling their home. Now, if you don't mind me asking, I find that most homeowners want to sell their home for the most money in the quickest amount of time and with the least amount of hassle. Is that true for you as well? Again, if you've watched other trainings, and I use this a lot, I've never found a homeowner that wants to sell their home for the longest amount of time for the least amount of money and the longest amount of time with the most hassle. And you'll also know that I look at that as someone who chooses to be a for sale by owner. But that's the three commonalities, or the three truths, as I say, for homeowners. And then you do a softener, if you don't mind me asking, while I have you on the phone. If you don't mind me asking while I have you on the phone, you can combine the two. That's the softener. So if you don't mind me asking, I find that most homeowners have three common truths. Number one is they want to sell their home for the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time and with the least amount of hassle. Is that true for you as well? I would be surprised if they say no. If they say no, look, you've probably just disqualified them from working with you. So let's just assume that you're talking to a normal homeowner that wants to sell it for the most money in the quickest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. Let's just assume that. The next question is, now you want to go for the closing, right? You want to go for setting that appointment. Okay, terrific. Well, look, would you be open to meeting with me, 20 minutes this week so I can show you my plan and process that me and my company have literally closed hundreds, thousands, you input your number on that, homes in your immediate area. Would you be open to that? Okay, now notice what I did there. So would you be open? Okay, I'm not going in for that hard close. Great. When can we meet? Do you want to meet at Tuesday at 3:30 or would you want to meet Thursday at 4:30? That to me, this goes into conversational selling. That is not conversational selling. That's selling. And when you get hard sold on that, hard closed on that, a lot of times you're going to get pushed off. And while they may actually schedule a time with you, then it also increases the possibility of a cancellation. So my whole thing is just, wanting to just do a soft close and then warm up the water. So would you be open to meeting with me for 20 minutes this week? I framed it. Now it might be Tuesday or Thursday, but I'm framing it so it's very soft onto them, saying, look, would you be open to meeting with me 20 minutes this week so I can show you my plan and process? It could be my 22-point plan, my ultimate listing program that my company and I have used. Now, you may not want to use your company if you're very established in your market area, but if you're not established in your market area and your company is, then you're going to want to use that because you want to use that as a benefit for who you're aligned with. If you're not well established in an area and your company's not well established in an area, that's a whole different story. You really have to work on your value proposition and come up with what you say next. So that's how it is. And that's probably an objection that I'm going to be going over here in the near term. Anyways, so would you be open to meeting with me 20 minutes this week so I can show you the plan and process that me and my company use that have sold over 1,000 homes in the last 20 years in your immediate area? And then you're just going to ask them the same question again. Would you be open to that? Okay. So you started with, would you be open? And you ended with, would you be open? And it's very natural. Would you be open to meeting with me for 20 minutes this week so I can show you the plan and process that me and my company have used to literally sell thousands of homes in your area in the last 20 years? And that's something we could do for your home. Would you be open to that? Now they're going to say yes, no, or they're going to say something. They're going to say, yeah, I might be able to do that. Or, no, this week isn't good. Or they're going to come up with another question, right? They're going to come up with a rebuttal. See, when you deal with objections, typically if you rebuttal or you respond to a question with confidence and with clarity, very rarely do you get another level of question. Maybe you will. Maybe when they said this, they're going to say, well, can't you just share this with me on the phone right now? I'm like, look, how much time do you have right now? I could very well do that if you're open to doing that. How much time do you have right now? Do you have 20 minutes that we could jump on a digital Zoom call right now that we can do that? Most people won't commit to that on a very option, but you're not just saying no and trying to go to that hard appointment. You're really trying to meet them halfway to make it certain. So if they came up with that, look, I would love to share that with you. It's going to be very difficult. It's almost impossible for me to do that on the phone. But are you available? Are you at a place now that you could maybe take 20 minutes right now and I can fire up the Zoom and we can transition this into maybe a web conference? Does that work for you? And if they say it works for them, then do it. If they say it doesn't work for them, say, okay, no problem. So, I mean, is there a time this week that we could schedule for me to maybe come out and just take a look at the home? And then I can just share with you some of the things I do. Is that something that's possible? Remember, guys, in sales, you're a problem solver. That's it. You're a problem solver. And don't think for a second that the consumer on the other end, you know this, I know this, you know that I know that you know, that when people do this to you and you ask a question, they're deliberately withholding information because they think that by getting in front of you, whatever they're going to say is going to be magical, and they're going to, and what you feel and what I feel is that, look, they're just going to close on me. You know, there's a point in time when people will make a decision, and there's a point in time where they're going to think about making a decision. That mid area in between is their discovery period, where they have to go out and seek answers and learn information before they're confident to actually make that decision. So you can't, you have to help that process along just by understanding consumer behavior. So let's sum this up. Let's go back over. So why should we choose you? You're going to acknowledge, look, why should you choose me? Yeah, why should we choose you? We know, there's a lot of real estate agents in the market. What makes you so special? That's a great question. In fact, most homeowners want to make sure that they hire the right agent for the job of selling their home. Now, if you don't mind me asking, as most homeowners, I find that there are three common truths when it comes to homeowners. Number one, they want to sell their home for the most money. Two, they want to do it in the quickest amount of time. And three, they want to do it with the least amount of hassle. Is that true for you as well? Well, yeah, of course it is. I mean, I definitely want the most money. I want to sell it quick. And yeah, I don't want any hassle. All right, fantastic. Well, I'd love to share with you some of the things I do. Would you be open to meeting with me for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes this week, so I can show you the plan and process that me and my company have used over the last 20 years to literally sell thousands of homes in this immediate area? I'd love to share that with you. Would you be open to meeting with me sometime this week? Yeah, I might be open to meeting that time with you. Terrific. Well, I'm looking at my calendar. Are typically the mornings or the afternoons better for you? Guys, I'm going down the funnel, right? I'm eliminating things. I'm walking down the process. I'm typically more available after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Fantastic. Look, in looking at my calendar, are you available on Wednesday at 2:30? I could even do Thursday at 3 o'clock. Do either of those times work good for you? Yeah, I suppose I could do Thursday at 3 o'clock. Terrific. Now, and this is where I would actually go into the pre-qualifying, the listing appointment, right? So, but you can see the process is, it's not just the words. It's not just coming up with just magical things on how to say things. It's actually walking them through the process, using conversational selling, staying in tune with the way that normal people conversate, and giving them options. So, all right, guys. So that's it for today's training. If you're catching this live, use this. This is the objection of the day. Be sure to use these different types of tactics, this strategy with your role-playing partner. And again, if you don't have a role-playing partner, go over to the real estate role-playing group, get signed up, get on the schedule so you can start increasing your skill level and increase your closing ratios. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you for coming. So go out there, have some conversations, make some appointments, get some listings, close some deals, and make some commissions. And I will catch you in the next training. So take care. Bye-bye.